Well, Dirk is just with his arm on the drinks table as if it's a Sunday afternoon bash. He was just relaxing there, and I'm thinking, no, come on, Dirk, you've got to start getting this together.
96.
Yeah, I was saying that it was Barney that
59.
kind of helped do a deal to get Dirk onto Team Unicorn. It was Barney who inspired him to take up the game of darts. It was watching him win his last
55.
Lakeside title before he switched to the PDC that inspired Dirk to get involved in the game. Just a few years later, he finds himself on the European Tour, guaranteed grand in his pocket, potentially 20 grand if he goes all the way to the final and wins it on Sunday night. It's a big ask, but we have seen, like I said, Jamie Lewis, young player who made it all the way to the final in Gibraltar last year. It can be done.
Well, this is a learning curve for all the youngsters and the newcomers, to be quite honest, in the game. It's the experience. You can't buy experience, you can only earn it. And this is, you know, every match you play on a big stage, you know, something sticks in your head and it makes it easier to close games out. And then when you, perhaps 2-3 years down the road, maybe even 5 years down the road, you start to become a, you know, a good seasoned professionals and know how to win tournaments. But sometimes it's going to take 5 years, you know, to learn their trade properly.
You can already see Dirk getting frustrated with himself. He's been throwing his hands up,
83.
getting a bit exasperated that it's not going how he wants it to.
99.
It does take time to learn how to
126.
tough out when you're not playing your best, to somehow make a victory happen, to dig deep and somehow make it possible for you to win games where just nothing going your way at the
61.
moment.
Well, if anything, when you're like that, don't rush. I mean, you can see he can't wait to get to the hockey. He's rushing around, throwing the darts.
58.
Sometimes you just take that extra pace, you know, slow your heart rate down. Well, he wants 32. That's brilliant darts from Rodriguez. Has not missed on these doubles. Really has cleaned up every time he's put to the foot for the hockey. And he finds himself 3-0 up. And now Dirk has really got to dig deep.
It is just one breaker throw he's down though, so it's not as bad as it could be for Dirk. You saw the levels of frustration that he had in the last leg. It's still early days. You saw Kevin Dowling was threatening to come from 5-1 down and gave Andy Smith a fright.
Well, he's only one leg down in play, but he's actually got to get 2 legs because he lost the bullseye, so if it does go 5-all, then he's got to, against the head, he's got to win that leg. But at the moment, you know, he just wants to put a leg on the board. You put a leg on the board, take it one leg at a time. You know, don't get excited. Right, that's one leg. Then hold on to your throw again and again, and you know, you gradually eat away at your opponent.
$134.
Good visit, but Duijvenbode has still got the upper hand in this leg.
$81.
Well, filling it up here will help his cause. Absolutely brilliant from Rodriguez as he salutes the crowd here in Salzburg. And what a time to fire in a maximum. I mean, that's going to give him guaranteed 1 dart at a double when he returns for a 4-0 lead and a second breaker throw.
159.
But
Great response.
Yeah.
Rowby requires 75.
I think that may have just been a little acknowledgement of Rowby John Rodriguez's celebrations there.
55.
Oh, well, wow.
Dirk requires 24.
Well, if Dirk takes this out, I wonder if we'll see that little prance across the stage. Oh.
Only going to get one more dart. And he's missed inside.
Rowby Jr. requires
Gives
20.
himself a thumbs up. I think it's fair to say it was with a touch of irony. Rodriguez working his way closer to the double 10.
No score.
Does
Dirk
not
requires
get there. A raised eyebrow from Rodriguez. And Van Duijvenbode has been given another chance. Gets his first leg on the board.
Dirk van Duijvenbode.
Well, I think that sort of
Looks like it's
fist pump
first.
will not help out the right shoulder of Dirk. You know, that is a problem. I think you've got to lay away from their fist pumps, because the fist pump wrenches the arm, the shoulder socket, so but it may get a bit of fire in the belly.
85.
They're both pretty demonstrative on stage in very different ways. There's a sort of elegant prance around from Rodriguez, whereas Duijvenbode is just anger.
140.
Well, and this man is not a small young man, as he fires it in. For his, well, that's a good 140 though.
140.
Yeah, he's about 6'1", 6'2", built like a linebacker.
$97.
Yeah, the way he stares at that dartboard, it's like he's daring it not to give up some points.
46.
Well, if he stared at me like that, I'd give up.
Nah, he can have anything he wants.
Or run.
Just chuck me wallet at him.
I say run, but he'd probably catch you too easily.
On the odd occasion that you came up against one of the younger players, and obviously when you were playing Rod, you didn't have the youth tours, you didn't have the proliferation of the young kids coming through, but when you came up against a young kid who gave you a scare, or heaven forbid beat you, that tough to take as a seasoned professional, a veteran?
No. If someone beats you, when they beat you, they've just beaten you because they played better or you played rubbish. It's just that's just the way it is. You know, you have to move on. The hardest thing in any game is to get over losing.
41.
You know, you have.
Rowby, John, you require 107.
There's a little bit of a scream, or was that the baby in the audience?
I think we have got a small go up there. That's Rowby John. Fails to get double top for 107. Duijvenbode is coming back, and he finds a trouble with his first dart.
84. Rowby, John, you require 40.
He's messed that up. He wanted 14 for double top. Hit the 9, threw his last dart away. And if Rodriguez, wow, he takes out last dart, and a real grimace from Van Duijvenbode at the back of the stage. 4-1. That might be a major point in this match.
Yes, if he'd have missed the fives, he would have been on the back foot. Put the previous leg 3 darts at double 10 and put them all on the outside. So now, this is where you want to put in a strong leg if you're Rodriguez, to really put the pressure on your opponent. You know, this is where, you know, we keep talking about the Taylors and the Bristows. You know, when they're on their peak, you know, they get let off a little bit. They punish them the next leg. They really do put in a strong leg just to rub salt in the wound, to be quite honest.
$81.
Robert Thornton,
140.
the former UK Open champion, the 7th seed here in Austria, awaits the winner of this one.
41.
One of the toughest opponents on the tour is Robert Thornton.
Capable of anything, isn't he? I mean, he plays well. He's just a monster.
Yeah, he's another player like Brendan Dolan,
94.
you know, who's highly underestimated. You know, when you look at the scoring power of Thornton, I mean, there was 2 or 3 of the latter Premier Leagues he played in. He had the most 180s on the night, and he's one of those that kind of goes under the radar. But as Phil Taylor's found out,
83.
on a few occasions,
You require 144.
you can certainly take a hiding off of Thornton.
Yeah, you mentioned Brendan Dolan. I was saying that with Mike Lawrence in commentary earlier,
84.
possibly player of the
Rowby,
tournament
John,
at the
you
recent
require
World Cup.
152.
There weren't many who outshone him, if any at all. Oh, there's a chance for Rodriguez. 152 check out.
Rowby John Rodriguez.
And Rowby John Rodriguez, we see the celebration again. That one more deserved than any of the ones before. 152, biggest checkout we've seen this weekend.
Well, he had 120 in that first leg to get him on the run, and the 150, and as you can see, one of the stars in the making, this young man, and so's Dirk. As long as he gets himself sorted out, you know, maybe the shoulder that's playing him up. And the thing about it, Dan, when you've got an injury, if you're winning, you don't think about it, you don't talk about it, but when you lose, then it's so easy to make an excuse. I'm not saying it ain't the problem, but sometimes it's too easy to make the excuse. I've been there myself.
Well, it's just a psychological fact. If you do have anything physically wrong with you, it aches that little bit more, it hurts a bit more, you notice it a bit more when things aren't going your way. Pretty free and easy at the minute for Rodriguez.
And Rodriguez, one of the shortest players on the tour, and for obvious reasons, the shorter you are, the harder the game is, because you've got a little bit further to go, but he's having no problem finding that treble 20, and that really does set it up perfectly. He's going to come back, and this would be a very convincing win against... that's a good reply, though. So, for the match.
He's going to get one dart, and it's a double 16. He took out in the last leg for that brilliant 152 checkout. He's dropped his dart, but he's just composing himself. Double 16 he wants.
54.
Misses inside.
Dirk require 112.
That Duijvenbode is just composing himself.
Well, in the previous match with Dowling, he couldn't hit a double, but he took out a couple of combinations under pressure to keep himself in the game. Well, certainly Dirk is not going to do that.
57.
So now
Rowby John, you require 60.
Rowby John Rodriguez comes back to close the game.
Working his way towards that double 8 and misses inside. And there is shade to the pie man here. He just took his took a while to close that game out with Dowling. Can Duijvenbode make this last a little bit longer? It's a decent mark of that, and he uses it very well.
Dirk van Duijvenbode. 8th leg is Dirk to throw first. Game on.
Well, all he can do is just take it leg by leg. He's got to win them all. Potentially. We've got 4 more to go here. But he'll not be wanting to be relying on Rodriguez missing match darts every single leg. Going to have to find some way of upping his game. Pretty sharpish. You can see he's gesturing to supporters in the crowd. Doesn't really understand why he's not able to find his best stuff.
It does happen, and then we have the stats leg on leg. The first leg of the match, the 120, and then leg 6 was the 152. And to be quite honest, although they're youngsters, the other legs are not anything to shout right home about. I mean, the 21, 20 and 21 of Rodriguez, if Duijvenbode see them, he'd be disappointed. You know, anything over 20, you're not going to win many games, to be quite honest.
60.
Yeah, they've perhaps not scored as well as we'd expect them to. For them, you know, a 15 dart leg is a good leg of darts. But Rodriguez has had to take out big finishes to have those 15 darters, the 120 as he said, and the 152. Just as I say, the scoring wasn't good enough. He smashed his first 2 darts in the treble 20 though. Typical stuff.
96.
Well, the first leg, the first 9 darts, they both scored brilliantly. One 161 after 9 in the first leg, and since then it's just died a little bit off that treble 20.
41.
A missed opportunity from Rodriguez there. Duijvenbode knows if he can find that treble. Well, there's one.
96.
Well, he may get a shot at the bullseye when he comes back.
I don't understand that last dart of Rodriguez is going for the 25. You know, the treble 20, the treble 19 is a far better route. You know, you hit one of them, it puts you on a perhaps one dart finish.
Dirk, you require 130.
Oh, it's a great setup from Rodriguez. There's a lot of pressure on this from Duijvenbode. Needs that treble. Gets it. Oh, that's a whisker away.
Rowby John, you require
It might be the last
50.
dart he throws at this Austrian Darts Open. There's a fantastic setup in the previous visit from Rodriguez, leaves him double top.
30.
And again, missed chances, unbelievable.
25.
It's all about the pressure, the heart rate goes up, the nerves come in when you're closing out the game. And as I say, can he? He can.
Duijvenbode.
And he is back in this
Rowby
game.
John to throw first. Game on.
And now, this is where the young man's got to show some character. Needs a good strong leg. Well, he's just taken his time.
100.
Well, from 5-1 up, he's mismatched darts in the last two legs.
100.
And if Duijvenbode can, if he can win this one, suddenly Rodriguez will be getting very, very nervy.
121.
I think you saw there's a bit of relief in that celebration as he found the treble bed.
40.
Yeah, not the visit that Dirk wanted there. And that's a perfect dart if you're going to miss. And that's exactly why.
100.
He'll settle for one big treble in every visit. Going to get 6 darts from 180 at least. That's good darts though from Duijvenbode. A maximum to put himself right back in this game.
76.
Important last dart, but Duijvenbode is on a bit of a roll here. Look at this.
126. Rowby John, you require 104.
Now there's pressure on this. Well, he's found the treble he wanted.
84.
And it's another match dart that has
Dirk,
gone
you
back
require
in.
55.
3 legs in a row. Rodriguez has missed a chance to win it. Duijvenbode is going to get 2 to reduce the arrears to just 1 leg. Last dart in hand.
15. Rowby John, you require 20.
There it is.
Got on the mark.
There it
Rowby
is.
John Rodriguez.
Rodriguez. It took him a while. He stumbled over the line in the end. What looked like a stroll at first for the Austrian turned into a bit of a struggle. But he is through to the next round. Robert Thornton away.